719. This is how many items we currently have in Isaac, across the base game and all 3 DLCs. Today in this video, I wanna see how many items I could get in a single unmodded unseeded run. There's been some all items video on YouTube before, but the items in those are given through the console. I think the fastest way to get as many items as I can is starting the run with Tainted Cain. Kinda obvious that we need to use the most broken character for this type of task. Unfortunately, you straight up can't obtain some items as Tainted Cain, so we will need to craft and use the clicker at some point. Speaking of active items, since you can only have 2 active items at a time maximum, we will need to discover as many of them as we can. With the help of my friend Dad, my item collection was wiped clean, so we will have an easier time tracking which items I already picked up and which items I'm still missing. Okay, intro segment done. Let's start the run finally. We are looking for a library start. I want to get more pickups to work with at the very beginning of the run. I craft myself blue candle to deal with early floor enemies without needing any more items, so I can get more resources for later. On the second floor, I got teleported inside an insane devil's deal. 3 entire items from red chests. Even boys never give me that much free stuff. However, I decided to leave the items behind for now, and return to get all the pickups after I kill the boss. Inside the shop, I got myself Sackhead. It will net me more resources and items throughout the run. After barely surviving Duke of Flies, I got all the pickups from Devil Room. I crafted Twisted Pear, which is probably my favorite Devil Deal item. I don't know, these little guys are so cute. Next floor, I got Broken Modem, which has a 25% chance to double room pickups. We were getting pretty stacked on resource generation items, but we still needed quite a bit more. Next floor, I managed to pull out Glyph of Balance, which can help me with generation of soul hearts. Later this floor I got Deep Pockets, which is another pickup generation item, and it might be the most broken one for this run. I tried getting something goated in the Devil's Deal, but sadly I couldn't find anything that would satisfy me. After some backtracking though, I managed to get Contract from Below, which would give us even more stuff to work with. Average room rewards were starting to look pretty good. Inside the secret room I found an item, which meant I would get my first Bone Heart. Bone Hearts are the most important resource for this challenge, since we can use them to craft our keys and death certificates. I decided to craft and break a bunch of active items to try and get Bone Hearts from their drops, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to work nowadays. I remember it was possible in earlier versions of Repentance. Anyway, I crafted myself booster pack and got extremely lucky with the card drops. One of them was the stars, which meant I get to create 2 more secret room items and get 2 more Bone Hearts. I lost Sackhead, but I'll just craft another one later. I was hoping another booster pack would be as useful, but unfortunately it was pretty shitty. I didn't even get much loot from Cards Against Humanity. Bone Hearts decided to not give me anything useful, so I needed to look for some higher quality pickups. I managed to find Mega Mash and Glitched Crown, but none of these items would be really useful to us. Finally, I got what I was looking for. Inside the death area, I got a dime for Ghost Paper, then I decided to take a safe option and get our key, which guarantees that the run doesn't end on the final floor. Despite having a bunch of strong items, I was still lacking on damage, so killing Mom took a minute. I got the Polaroid, one of the uncraftable items, and then jumped down. Thanks to all the loot generation items, I got a bunch of dimes and soul hearts. With their help, I got myself a nice Tech X and Cricket's Head. That's 2 quality 4 items on a single floor. Later on, I also got Wafer. I was getting a little bored, so I went for the R key. 45 minutes in, I decided to check out our item progress. Only 39. That's a little over 1 item per minute. Hopefully now that I have enough firepower to blitz through the basement, we can start getting more items at a quicker pace. Later, I decided to explode my donation machine for a bunch of coins and got myself the second R key, which meant now I can just craft whatever passive garbage I want as long as I haven't made it before. I went for Downpour, where I got another uncraftable item, which is Knife Piece 1. I got 2 Mom and took Negative, that is also uncraftable. Around this time, the first hour of the run has passed. We had 56 items found. That's pretty horrible. I'm gonna be stuck here for a while, it seems. The longer the run goes, the more I'll have to listen to a woman talk. Horrible, I know, but you gotta stick with me on this one. I also noticed that our key would send me to the same seed no matter how many times I would press it. Not sure if it's a bug, but I'm not complaining, as I can always get a bunch of free pickups from this devil deal every loop. And hey, I found my beloved spider mod. Soon I got there's options in my bag of crafting, and I'm still not sure if getting this item was a mistake or not. On one hand, it gave me a choice of 2 different room rewards, but on the other hand, it made it really confusing to use my bag of crafting. I know it doesn't look bad now, but it gets insanely hard when you get like 50 range and 6 chests dropping every room. Nothing really interesting happened for the remainder of the slope. The only thing I would do is constantly go into the stat menu to make sure I haven't made an item before, so I don't waste my resources for nothing. I also got Key Piece 1, which is another uncraftable item. If you are curious how my damage looked at this point, here's a demonstration. This is only slightly above 100 items, so I can't even imagine how 300 or 500 items will look like. Another concern I had was, will my laptop even handle all the items? Stuff like Trisagion, Parasite, Angelic Prism, Pop, and other luck-inducing items would all be combined together, so at some point I might just get soft-locked. After trolling Delirium, I went on yet another loop. Most of this run at this point is just me grabbing all the pickups I can and hoping I get a new item I haven't crafted before, so I will skip over those long and boring parts. Thanks to Oldman Milk, my FPS started to drop whenever I was holding the shoot buttons for too long. It will only get worse, so if you have any type of motion sickness or epilepsy, it's better to turn off the video right now. Eventually, I got my range to a very high number, which made it extremely hard to get the pickups inside the bag of crafting. I really should have kept the range ups for later. Pretty soon, I just needed to avoid shooting entirely, because otherwise this would happen, and I could only play the game in like 10 FPS. I'm not sure what causes all the spinning, but it looks cool. Kinda like a kaleidoscope. I actually somewhat fixed the range problem by crafting Libra, which took a chunk out of it and gave it to my damage and tears. Usually it happens the other way around, but I'm not complaining. If you are curious, this is how my average room reward looked at this point. At least one chest, a battery, and some other pickups. Almost 3 hours into the run, I had around 250 items, and the game was getting really hard to play due to luck and repetitiveness of the whole process. I powered through anyway. I was determined to see how far I can get. For my determination, I was rewarded. I found Spirit Sword, the item that kills most synergies in the game. I was able to significantly reduce the visual clutter and lag whenever I accidentally attacked. It was still a little laggy, but an enormous improvement over all the laser and knife madness I had. Azazil's Rage, ladies and gentlemen. Well, dear subscriber, even geniuses like me have bra moments sometimes. In the middle of the run, I crafted myself Magneta, a passive item that will attract all pickups towards Isaac. I honestly have no idea what made me think I shouldn't craft this item as one of the last. After making it, collecting pickups became so annoying. My enormous range stat didn't help either. At this point, I was starting to hate both the run and myself. Around the same time, I noticed something weird was happening to the Star of Bethlehem. It would appear in random rooms sometimes, not really following its usual path. I didn't know what was the reason behind it yet, but soon it will become more obvious. On chest, I got dangerously close to ending the run, since I still didn't have an key to start another loop. Thankfully, I got another dev certificate, so we were secure for now. 4 hours into the run, I was little short of 400 items, basically more than a half of all of them. At this point, accidentally attacking even once meant I had to go to the menu and continue the run if I didn't want to crash. The amount of flashing lights was really headache-inducing. I finally hit the familiar limit. If you didn't know, Isaac can only have 64 friendly creatures on the screen at a time. This is why you never get several hundred flies from Guppy synergies, because familiar items, charmed enemies, and spider flies all count as friendly creatures. Right now, I have more than 64 familiars, and the game doesn't know which ones should take the priority, so all of them would get spawned and then despawned again, causing this never-ending smoke effect. And trust me, it gets even worse. At around 5 hours in, I finally found rock bottom. At this point, the only purpose it had is stopping my stats from constantly flashing and annoying me. I wish I found it earlier, but at this point, does it even matter? A lot of the items I could craft were duplicates, and collecting the pickups themselves became an actual nightmare. All I wanted at this point is for my game to crash and remove the run, so I could just stop doing this repetitive activity over and over and over again. But don't worry, my sweet little slop consumer. Auntie Left got this epic Super Isaac Synergy vs Hush edit for you.
Oh! And I'll say, no it isn't! We have to keep winning! We have to win more! We're gonna win more! We're gonna win!
So cool and stuff. Look how hard it is to use Bag of Crafting when you have 60 range. Can you really judge me for wanting to end it all? In Isaac, I mean. I got the second key piece and the second knife piece. It have never felt so good playing a character with no items, I swear. About right now, I have decided that I'm finally done with this goddamn run. It was really a miserable experience and I didn't really want to keep going for 5 more hours just because I can't find the right recipe for poop item or whatever. So I decided to go beast so I can get Dead's Note and Dogma, 2 more uncraftable items. Now we reached the final part of the run, but before showing you how it all ended, I wanna thank you for clicking on this video. It took me way longer to finish it since I got sick and talking is still a little painful, so I couldn't work on voiceovering for a long time. If you like the video, share it with your friends. You do have friends, right? If you want to talk to me and other cool people, hop on my Discord server. And if you have a custom challenge run idea or just want to support me, check out my Ko-fi page in description. Shout out to Miamu, Radish and this anonymous donator. Don't do this anymore, by the way. Seriously, you can just cover all my meds and not give me your name. Alright, no more shilling. Let's return to the run. During the ascent, I decided fuck it and used D100, but in that moment I forgot that with such a big amount of items, there is a good possibility I will reroll into TM Trainer, the worst item in the game. Almost all of my 500 items became glitched and some insane chaos started happening. I really can't even describe what's going on the screen, to be honest. I got very lucky and made it to home. It was still pretty bad. I tried sleeping in mom's bed, but on the second attempt my game just crashed. After relogging, I still had some trouble starting Dogma's fight, because the game would just teleport me out of mom's room before I could do anything. After several attempts, I finally did it. Then there's the Dogma fight, and I really don't know what the fuck am I supposed to say here. Just watch this. I killed Dogma so hard he couldn't even set me to beast. I even redid the fight multiple times through console, but I never managed to get to it. Also, check out these stats. What the hell? This is where my run ultimately ended. So, can you get all items in a single run? I don't really think so. We haven't even talked about stuff like Sacred Orb, Small Rock, Hold, Recall, and Time-Locked Mom's Shovel. And the amount of glitched items you can get is actually infinite. If anything, I hope I never get more than 100 items in a single run. I hope this video taught you that with great power comes great luck. But you know what? If this video gets, let's say, 15,000 views, I will do a second attempt at getting everything at once. This will literally never happen though, so I'm chilling. Have a good night, and sweet dreams too.